Here we go. Spoiler alert, audience.
Spoiler alert, audience.
Hey,
Oh, wait.
where's Jason?
Where's our audience? Where's everybody? Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Jason Show. I'm Kendall Mark.
And I'm Tom Butler. We're holding down the fort, or in this case, the studio, for the next few days. Jason is live. He's at the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, and he is having a good old time there for the next few days. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for holding down the fort. Yes, as Tom and Kendall said, this is year 9 of one of the biggest charity projects that I take part in. It's called Project Down and Dirty, and it's through the radio station that I do my morning show on, My Talk 107.1. And in essence, what it is it's basically getting us to step out of our comfort zone. Also, the other spoke of it is charity, and the other spoke of it is kind of a reality show on the radio, and in our case, on TV. All of the weekday hosts that I work with, we all live together, we all work together, and we do a different project. Some years, and we'll go through this a little bit later, one year we put on a musical in 3 days, another year we put on a rock band. This year it's called Masterpiece, and in 3 days we are going to become artists. And that's why I am live right here at the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, which Tom and Kendall, we've only been here for about 12 hours. We checked in last night. We have learned so much about this great facility we're in. One of the things is, I didn't know this, it's a college that's been around since 1888, I believe. The students here, a huge chunk of them actually go on to work in professions that they studied in. They award $100 million in scholarships. And some of the alumnus from this college, Tom and Kendall, people that worked on Broad City, people that have worked for Target, West Elm, Disney's Frozen. This school has a really proud tradition, and over the next 3 days, we're going to learn more about it. I'll share it with you guys. And after 3 days, I will kind of become an artist, you two, in air quotes.
I like that.
Sorta.
Artiste.
Kind of. Sort of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be good on you, Jason.
Sorta. And then I think so. And then on Friday, it all ends up on Friday. There's always a big event at these things. Friday is the gallery opening where people can buy tickets and actually buy the art that we make today, tomorrow, and Friday. So if you want tickets for that, mytalk1071.com. And we're going to have more here. My co-host will be joining us a little bit later, but I'm going to toss it back to you two to get the hot dish started.
Excellent. All right, we'll do it. Thank you, sir. Our artiste, Jason Matheson.
Artiste.
It is now time to stir up the dish, little hot dish for you, because Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez, we know they used to be a thing, right? They were quite the couple, dating on and off, some off, for 8 years, before officially calling it quits last year in 2018. Now the Biebs is already married, right, to Haley Baldwin, while Selena had been pretty quiet about the whole situation until now. Her new single just dropped, and she is throwing some serious shade at the Biebs. Take a look at this.
You promised the world and I fell for it. I put you first and you adored it. Set fires to my forest and you let it burn. Sang off key in my chorus, 'cause it wasn't yours. I saw the signs and I ignored it. Rose-colored glasses are distorted. Set fire to my purpose and I let it burn. You got off in the hurting when it wasn't yours. Yeah, we'd always go into it blindly. I needed to lose you to find me. This dancer was killing me softly. I needed to hate you to love me, yeah. To love, yeah. To love, yeah. To love you.
I think we're getting into just that. It's called Lose You to Love Me. Some of the lines that are drawing attention. You promised the world and I fell for it. I saw the signs and ignored it. And then there's this one. In 2 months, you replaced us like it was easy, right? And you were doing the doves thing throughout
Yeah,
that?
I think
You felt like
it just needed like some doves to just burst through, you know? Like doves cry very much.
Right. I mean, to get that though, because you could just feel some of her torment, some of her pain in that song.
Right, absolutely. It is a good song.
Yeah.
And the 2 months thing, it's because when they broke up, he quickly jumped over to Haley, now Bieber. Jason,
Wow.
what do you guys,
My
what do you think of
goodness.
that?
You know what I think? I think Tom, Kendall, I think we should have become songwriters, because how great is it to have that outlet when you can just burn your ex? Like when we were all kids, when we were upset with our ex, all we could do about them was complain in the back booth of a Perkins about them. These people are writing songs about their ex. You know what I mean? This is fantastic. I wish I was a songwriter just so I could burn my exes. Actually, no, I only had one ex that. Yeah, there's only one ex that I would write a story about. But other than that, you know, yeah, I could. That would be a really good song if I wrote a song about the one particular ex.
That
but
might
anyway,
be a 2
but
volume
yeah,
CD.
that's what I always think. Yeah, seriously, Lex, or Tom, that'd be like a Carly Simon collection if I wrote about the one particular. But you know what I mean? But Tom, Kendall, you know what I mean? What
Yes.
what a great outlet to be able to sit down at a dining room table and just and turn it into a song that will inevitably make you money. I think it's poetic justice.
It is. It absolutely is poetic justice. And obviously, it's going to bring over more fans to her side in that whole Biebs versus Selena duo, because he did kind of do her wrong. It
He
sounds
did.
like it. It does
I
sound
would
like
be
it.
more Cardi B
Well,
style. I'd be
and-
rapping about it.
Of course you would. Of course you would. I will, you know what? I will give him a little bit of credit. Not credit, but I will say in all fairness to him, he has recently come out and said that he was a dumpster fire during these years with her. He is, what I mean by it is, you know, he has owned it. So it's not like he has no self-awareness about this period. He has admitted that he was kind of a dog, and that led him to really working on his mental health, which he's doing now. So I do have to give him a little bit of credit.
Yeah.
It's not like we didn't know he was kind of a dirty dog. He admitted it.
That's true. And
That's
now
true.
it seems fairly religious now. So,
Right,
you know, he's
right.
180, really, it sounds like.
Yes,
Good
very.
luck to all the children,
Yep.
all the people. Hey, speaking of relationships, next in the dish, Lindsay Lohan served as a judge on the Australian version of The Masked Singer, which we didn't actually
I didn't know there was one, no.
Yeah, we didn't know that. Okay, the season just wrapped up with the robot taking top honors. Things got a little bit awkward when the winner was revealed. That's when we learned that the person behind the mask, right there, singer Cody Simpson. Now, this is weird because he used to date Lindsay's younger sister, but is now dating Miley Cyrus, as anybody on Instagram would know. So Lindsay wasted no time throwing some shade on the gram. In a now deleted post of Cody and her sister right there, she wrote, "When you realize you failed and you settled for less, family is everything. You won the Masked Singer, but you lost on your future." I think she said it like that. You know?
Yeah.
On the show, she also said he owes her for the furniture she bought him. He claims he never asked for that furniture and it never showed up because apparently she bought it when he lived with her sister.
Look, that ottoman costs some big bucks, and I'm just saying, pay up.
Pay up, bro.
Uh-huh.
I mean, how awkward would that be, though, if honestly, she kind of alluded the whole season that she thought it was him because she's like, I happen to know you, you know? But how awkward. You're like, yay, congratulations, buddy. And some shade at Miley Cyrus in the process, Jason. Just shade.
Okay. Here's the deal. Isn't this like an example of do not throw rocks if you are literally living in a glass house? I mean, should Lindsay really be making fun of Miley Cyrus when she has been a conveyor belt of messiness since George W. Bush was in the White House? I mean, sincerely. It's hashtag know thyself, Lindsay. I wouldn't be calling anybody out on their messiness when you have been quite messy for many, many years. That's what I find a little galling about this.
I get that too. Yeah, it is pot kettle black. We get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up.
Yes.
Talking more dish here. We know VH1 is out with a big announcement about one of their top shows, RuPaul's Drag Race will expand to RuPaul's Celebrity Drag Race. Next year in 2020, each episode will feature 3 stars undergoing transformations under the watchful eye of past Drag Race contestants, including Alyssa, Edwards, Trixie, Mattel, and Vanessa and Vanjie Mateo as well. All of the money the celebrities win will be then donated to charity. No word yet when and which celebs will participate. So there you go. Expansion of RuPaul's show on VH1.
People love that show because there's always a lot of sides of just like, know who you are, be comfortable with who you are, and on top of just the crazy fun that they have with being a drag show, you know?
Right. Yeah, and I'm sure it will do well, Jason.
Tom, I've accomplished a lot in my career.
Yes.
I've had good moments. I've met the cast of Dallas. I've met Emma Thompson. I've gotten to work for general manager Sheila Oliver. But I think this is the pinnacle of my career when I get to hear Tom Butler say Vanjie. I think this is probably my favorite moment in 22 years of television, is talking about RuPaul's Drag Race with Tom Butler. I could literally step out of MCAD right now, get hit by an ice cream truck, die, and be pretty happy.
I may follow
this is
Vanjie on
fantastic.
Instagram. It may be possible.
Believe me, Tom, Vanjie is now kind of a verb. Anyway, there's a pro and a con about this. Yeah. Here's the pro. Is the fact that it's going to be funny watching more celebrities step out of their comfort zone. But here's the possible con. Anytime something hits kind of the zeitgeist, there's always this need or this desire by executives or producers like, okay, let's mass produce it and make more of them. I sometimes worry that dilutes the original a little bit. So I just hope they don't do too many of these special editions. Keep it special. Keep it special is what I say.
All right.
Keep it special.
I like that. We're going to keep that special as we go into this next segment. Thank you, Jason. Still ahead here on Jason's Show. More with Jason from MCAD, where he is camped out for the rest of the week.
Whole rest of the week. But next, Jessica Biel is forced to confront her past statements about NSYNC on The Tonight Show.
And then she is the greatest. The cooking mom is here, and she's going to talk about this next level with the pumpkin spice trend. What is it she's cooking up? We'll find out. The Jason Show is coming right back on this Wednesday.
I love South Korea. I've been there too, and they assigned security to me, which I didn't need because I don't think anybody knew who the heck I was.
Right.
And I
thought you were going to say because you super tough.
No. And I went for a jog and rollerblades actually, and these 4 guys jogged behind me for miles.
Sorry,
and miles.
I got to pick you up on this. Yeah. You went out on rollerblades.
Rollerblades. Yeah. Now this was like 1995 when they were real big. And for these four. It's still bad.
I've got the greatest image now of Harry Connick Jr. in South Korea.
That's what it was. That's what it looked like.
Korean security guards jogging behind you.
For miles.
So hang on, you're packing for a trip to go to South Korea and you're like, can't forget these rollerblades,
That's right.
baby.
That was my thing. I realize only now that maybe I've revealed too much about myself.
Yeah. Can we start again?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, Harry Connick Jr. in a self-deprecating moment he didn't realize was going to be one with James Corden last night, talking about, his rollerblading skills back in the 90s.
I can just the visual too, as soon as James Corden started doing this, I was like, yeah.
Right. I'm going to South Korea, better pack. The inline skates.
Inline skates, which we've been informed it's inline skates, not rollerblades.
Is a brand, trademark.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Jason is over at MCAD. We're holding down the fort, the desk, and the hot dish spoons. More late night. Jessica Biel was on Jimmy Fallon last night. She's married to Justin Timberlake, as we all know, and Jimmy dug up some old footage of her talking about NSYNC, Justin's old band. Take a look.
We actually found an interview of Jessica Biel during those times that NSYNC was around. It's pretty interesting to see.
Jimmy.
This is years before you and Justin ever met.
No, please.
Here's Jessica Biel in 1999 being asked
please.
if she's an NSYNC fan. Take a look.
To be honest, I don't really listen. I haven't really. I mean, I know of them, of course, and I've heard of them, and I've heard the music. I don't think I own any of their CDs. I'm not a huge fan. But, I mean, cool, I guess.
Cool, I guess. I don't know. She said she was more into musical theater, like the musical Rent, and into old school Motown stuff, and just wasn't into pop music or her husband. So
I love that.
But the best part is she says she still doesn't know any NSYNC songs. She
Oh,
said
come on.
she knows 3 words. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye. All right.
And then that's it.
That's pretty good.
Jason, how are things going over there? What do you think of this Jessica Biel revelation?
Well, I mean, just because you marry someone, I mean, poor the late David Cassidy. I mean, he was married. Maybe she wasn't a fan of the Partridge Family. Don't ask me why I pulled out a David Cassidy Partridge Family reference, but I'm saying, I mean, you love them for who they are, not necessarily for what they do, I've had people that I've dated that can't stand the radio show or our show. Thank goodness Colin likes both, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. And it's kind of refreshing in a sense.
Tom?
Yeah. Not marrying.
Tom, has your lovely wife, watched every episode of, you know what I mean, of what you've done,
Exactly. No.
Everyone.
She'll tune in the morning just to make sure that I'm collecting a paycheck. That's pretty much it for 15 minutes and then
exactly.
She's out. Yeah.
Or exactly. She turns on, she's like, okay, is he at the studio? Yeah, he's at the studio. Okay, I'm going. Yeah, there we go. He's alive.
It's so true. Next up in the dish, Kelly Ripa was on Jimmy Kimmel last night. Jimmy is hosting his show, as we know, all week from Brooklyn. Kelly chatted about her children who are college-aged and how the kids just cannot leave home. Look at this.
Michael, we drop him off freshman year, drop him off at his dorm. We have lunch together. We look at each other. We say, we did it. We have a child in college. We did it. Oh my gosh. We come home. It's about 10 minutes away. We come home, walk through the front door. He is standing in the hallway. My daughter says the opposite. You don't even need to drop me off. She jumped out of a moving cab when we took her to her dorm. You won't see me. I won't be back. You don't have to worry. Maybe I'll come home for Thanksgiving. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do other things. So we drop her off on a Saturday. It is the end of summer vacation. So we go back out to Long Island for the rest of the summer. Drop her off on a Saturday. Sunday evening, our alarm trips. My daughter's having a party on the roof of our house.
I think a lot of people can relate to that. Kelly and her husband Mark have 3 children, by the way.
I love Kelly Ripa. Yeah. I really do love her, and she's so dramatic in everything she says. But I remember going home a lot in the beginning in college because you want to be out on your own, but you're also kind of homesick, and you want to remember. You want your family to be like, oh, we missed you so much.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I went from like a small town to the University of Minnesota, so I was like a nobody
From
there.
Red Wing to the big city.
Yeah, and I wanted to go home and just feel like someone knew who I was.
Well, that's a testament to the parents doing a good job, making their kid feel like this is their kind of safe place.
Yeah, it was your zone.
You support a family love and all that, but that's pretty fun.
Jason? Were you someone who went home during college?
Yeah, I did. I tell the story a lot on the radio show. I lived in Indianapolis for my freshman year of college, and I lived in a building that should have been condemned in the 70s, and it wasn't. I lived there. There were cockroaches. And then I had a ferret. I had a pet ferret, and the building was so poor we didn't have screens, and the ferret met an untimely end, and let's just say the ferret was on top of the couch and went exploring.
Oh no.
And I was so traumatized, I went home. I went home that night.
Yeah.
And my mom told me to get back in that car, turn right back around, go down 65, and get your butt back to Indianapolis, because you ain't coming home. So, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
the poor ferret.
Well, guys, we'll check back in with you I know. Oh, poor Nanook. R.I.P. Nanook. Well, we'll check back in with you guys in just a little bit back there at the studio. But we are live here at MCAD. I'll be here for the next few days for the 9th annual Project Down and Dirty. It takes place through my radio station, My Talk 107.1, and it's the biggest charity event that we do. What is it, you ask? Well, it's kind of like MTV's The Real World, where the radio station asks all the weekday hosts to live together, to work together, to step out of their comfort zone for a common cause. And that cause can be varied. One year we did a rock band. One year we did a musical. We ran a restaurant. This year, we're becoming artists. We are at MCAD, and now we're joined by my co-host and friends, Alexis Thompson, and executive producer of Jason and Alexis in the Morning, Dawn McClain. Good morning, ladies.
Hello.
Okay, so this is Masterpiece. We're going to becoming artists in 3 days. I put that in air quotes. We're going to be doing 2 very specific types of art in the next 3 days. The first one is a bronze casting. We kind of got a little primer of this last night. Dawn, what was your first impression of what we're going to be doing with bronze?
Well, when they described it to us, I imagined that the sand we were going to be embedding the items in was going to be a soft sand, but it's actually a hard stone. So we're going to have to be, I don't know, chiseling it out, carving it out. I'm just a little curious still about that process.
Yeah, because if you've never seen a bronze casting, you put in a design and then we're literally going to pour bronze into it. That cools, and that's what we're going to sell. And remember what he said? We have an art show on Friday where y'all can come. What did he say about the fact that we're doing this in such a short amount of time?
It's usually something they do in 2 weeks. He said it'll still be warm when we hang it on the wall.
Yeah. So if you come to the art show on Friday, don't touch the bronze, because, girl, it'll be like a bowl of rice-a-roni probably.
Right.
Now, the other thing we're doing is screen printing. We're going to be doing some posters. Lex, you see Alexis on the show and Dawn all the time, but you know Alexis, crafty Connie. Lex was in her glory yesterday walking through the classrooms.
Love this magical place. It's so inspiring to walk around. You see artists like in the hallways doing their thing.
They're right behind us, Lex.
And and all of the different classes that they offer. The fact that we're going to be doing some screen printing is so awesome. I made a rickety one at home. I tried to DIY my own. So to actually, I did. I used a window screen and tried to make my own screen printing. So to actually see the real deal, and that we're going to make really beautiful posters and layer the colors on. I just can't wait. It's so fun.
Lex, did you use one of your own house screens? Did you tell Angel?
Well, I find them at flea markets and things like that. No, I didn't take one of our own. Oh, you know how much trouble I'd be in with that one?
That's why I asked.
I'd move myself out.
Yeah. We should give people a hint, because again, you'll be able to buy this stuff on Friday. You can get tickets at mytalk1071.com. Should we give them a little hint of our poster? A family-friendly hint.
Yes.
But what should we tell them about our poster? I know. It's very, very Alexis. I'll say that.
And it describes our show when we kind of go off the rails.
Yes. And it will be great for all of you because it describes when life takes a turn. Is that good? Yeah.
Yes.
When life takes a turn.
Ain't no mountain high enough. How about that? Yeah. Is that a good?
That's good.
And any obstacle in your way you could see as a mountain that you need to climb.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that.
With certain tools.
Yes, you need tools.
With wings. That's right. With wings. And when you see our poster, all of this will make no sense. That's right. No, it will make sense. Again, if you want tickets to My Talk's Masterpiece, fabulous gallery event. It is this Friday. You can get tickets at mytalk1071.com. And again, Tom and Kendall, the best part about it is all of this goes to charity. Yeah. Even if you don't want to buy art, Dawn, you made a good point earlier, you can just go to this event. And our show is working, Tom and Kendall, for the MCAD scholarship program. And 80% of MCAD students are here on scholarship.
97%.
97%, yes. That's right.
97.
So yes. Tom and Kendall, art has affected all of us in ways.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. And, it's the first kind of class to be cut when there are budget cuts. And we want to make sure these kids get to follow their dreams. So we hope to see everyone on Friday. But right now, we're gonna have more with these goobers in a little bit. But we're going to send it back to you now in the studio.
That's great. All right.
Thank
Thanks so much,
you.
guys. Thank you.
It sounds like a pretty cool thing,
Really cool. I like that. And we're going to dedicate the rest of this show to Nanook.
Nanook.
Little Nanook.
To you. Don't go chasing waterfalls or falling out of buildings. All right, still ahead. It's been 35 years since the movie Purple Rain debuted, and the film's director will join us live.
How about that? And then pumpkin-flavored French toast, ? Yes, the cooking mom will join us with how she makes it. Stay right there. We're coming right back on The Jason Show.
Hey everybody, welcome back. 35 years ago, our first guest directed a movie about a young musician who faced a lot of adversity during his rise to the top.
Does it sound familiar? Here's a clip from Purple Rain.
Will you help me?
Nope.
Pardon me?
Nope. Wanna know why?
Nope.
Because you wouldn't pass the initiation.
What initiation?
Well, for starters, you have to purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
What?
You have to purify yourself in Lake Minnetonka.
First thing I did when I moved here 15 years ago, right there. That's
Purify
Purple Rain, a debuted in the summer of 1984. And give it up for the film's director, Albert Magnoli. Nice to have you here, Albert.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Great.
That's such an iconic scene. So many people have seen it. We talked briefly about this before we came on, but how did you get involved with this picture?
Basically, I was in Los Angeles. I was editing a film called Reckless. My director, James Foley, was offered an opportunity, perhaps, to direct a script that they had written, and he turned it down. And I liked the producer very much, Bob Cavallo, who was Prince's manager. And we had a breakfast meeting and just talked about the industry, because he's from the music industry. He wasn't really understanding how that film industry worked, even though he was told, get a script written and try to get a director attached. So I felt bad for him, and he said, I'll talk to you. And we had this meeting, and in the process of meeting, I said that the way this gets done and the way it could be effective is that you have to get a director who's also a writer, and he has to go to Minneapolis and sit with everyone, Prince all the way down, and he has to learn what their culture is and how they work. And then and only then should you start writing a screenplay. So he said, great idea, makes sense. What would the story be? And in that instant, I said, okay, here's the story. And so I just laid out a 3-act story within 10 minutes, just popped out. And at the end of that, he said, that's neat. What are you going to do about it? And I said, okay, it's a Wednesday night. I have to go back to the editing room. Friday night, get a car, pick me up. I'll meet Prince Friday night. I'll tell him this story. If he likes it, we make a movie. If he doesn't, you're out a ticket, a plane ticket, and a hotel room. And he said, that's a deal I can make. So immediately, Friday night came, and I was in Minneapolis, and I had the luxury, and this is really the key point. I was standing in the lobby of a hotel here that he was staying in at the time. At midnight, Friday night, Saturday morning, he walked out of the elevator. He didn't know what I looked like. He focused on his team that was standing by the door. They had brought me there. So I'm standing here. Prince is coming out of an elevator here. His team is here. So he's walking across the lobby. And as I watched him walk across the lobby, I noticed that he was extremely vulnerable, very much alone. And so seeing that, I was able to implode my story with that new development that I had seen right on the spot. So 10 minutes later, we're now in a restaurant, and he says, what's the story? And so I was able to then say the same story I said in LA, but now I had all this new information.
Right.
And right on the spot, that new information created that entire arc when it had to do with the family and the violence, the father hoarding the music, all of it. All of it came with that walk from one end of the room to
Just
the
by
other.
this chance kind of observation that
Without
you had.
without myself being observed, I was able to observe him, and that's what I saw.
And so we see that iconic clip at Minnetonka with Apollonia. How much creative process and latitude did Prince have in interjecting what he wanted to do, and how much of it was, let's do it this way, and was it more of a, kind of a 50-50 thing?
No, it was nothing like that. What happened was, because the story was born in Los Angeles without me having any information, and then got recreated the minute I saw him walk the room. What was fascinating, after I told Prince that story in that restaurant that evening, he then said, let's you and I take a ride. He got into his car, I got next to him, and we drove. For 10 minutes we were silent. And then he said, what do you know about me? And I said, Little Red Corvette, the album 1999, that's it. And he then said, how is it that in these last 10 minutes you told me my life story?
That's incredible.
So I said, right on the spot, I said, if you allow the character, your father, to belt you in the face within 10 minutes that the movie started, if you allow that, we have a chance. And he said, why is that scene, because I had pitched that scene to him, why is that scene so important? And I said, 2 reasons. 1, there's no one on the planet who doesn't want to take a punch at a rock star. That's number 1. Number 2, for the character, your character, to take that abuse and then rise from that, that's our arc. And he said, I'm in.
Wow.
So at that moment, what had been created in Los Angeles and then on the spot in Minneapolis became the core of the story. And then when I came back to start working August 1st, 1983, I then interviewed everybody. And what was great about it is that there was no interference. There was no one saying it's got to be this way. None of that. It was, Magnolia's going to write this, and he's going to bring us into this film world. And we're going to go up against that with our music. That's how this is going to work. So what was fantastic about this collaborative experience is that I was able to bring that film engine to the project, and he was able to bring that music engine. And between the two of us, we were able to create this narrative. One of the most important things about the narrative, as I told everyone, is that when we're on the stage in a performance number, there has to be a good reason for us to be there. And when we're off stage, it has to be a good reason. That means the narrative has to push us to the stage, and the stage has to push us back into the narrative. That means the lyrical content of these songs has to be specific to the storyline at the moment that those songs are performed.
To have it all dovetailed.
Exactly. Yeah. It has to hopscotch. And each time we're on stage, it pushes us hard. Each time I'm off stage, it's pushing us hard to get back on stage. And so when we do that, we can hopefully be successful. Now here's the interesting thing. I had 100 songs that Prince had written and were just right there. And he said, listen to these 100 and see if any of them work in that narrative. I selected a few. There was no Purple Rain.
No Purple Rain.
No Purple Rain.
No Purple Rain.
Purple Rain had not been written yet. August 3rd, 1983, he performed with the Revolution at the club, the 7th Avenue. I was in that club because I was determining whether or not I was going to shoot the film there. That was not going to happen unless I said we can make it work. Because it was dark, and I'm thinking, how do I bring this club to the movie world, where it still has to have that feel, but it has to have a lot more kick and spectacle. So as I'm hunting around, looking indoors and figuring out where the heck I'm going to be, I hear this song being played. I didn't know the title. I couldn't even really understand the lyric. And the kids were just sitting there like this, standing there. They weren't responding. So after it was all over, I went downstairs. I said, Prince, there was a song like 4 back. It's like a Bob Dylan ballad. And he went, oh yeah, that's Purple Rain. And I said, that's the song I'm missing. That's the song that will be the crescendo of that struggle that you went through. And he said, okay. And then we paused and he said, can we call the movie Purple Rain? And that was it.
And that's
Oh
it.
my goodness.
And I said yes, right on the
Wow.
spot. I said, done. One less thing to think about.
Well, thank you. That's
Oh my
incredible.
gosh.
And I mean, 35 years later, a special 35th anniversary screening.
Wow.
I know.
To get that kind of insight too. Thank you for letting us in
amazing.
on all that.
It's
which is
amazing.
An intimate look at how this all
Yeah,
came together. Thank
exactly.
you so much. Incredible.
Well, that screening is happening at 6:45 at the Showplace Icon Theater. It's part of the Twin Cities Film Festival. Those tickets, first come, first serve, they're going to be handed out at 6:30. So if you want them, you got to get there early.
Albert Magnoli, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We'll go back live in the studio in just a few minutes, but we are here live at MCAD, the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, for the 9th annual Project Down and Dirty, which is basically a reality show on the radio and TV, which forces us to step out of our comfort zone, all in the name of charity. We've done 9 of these. Dawn, you've been with us for a few. Alexis and Dawn from the radio show join me now. We have a couple pictures to go down memory lane, because again, every year has a theme. This first picture, Director Leo, go ahead and put it up, was at the State Fair. We lived in a trailer.
Yes.
And worked at the fair.
That was our first year, and we all had to live in this little trailer.
What's this picture,
And
Lex?
we're sleeping on an air mattress that deflated overnight.
Yes.
We're pressed against the
sliding
door, and that's how we woke up.
That was life.
Yeah.
The second one, Leo put this one up. We are in full military gear for boot camp.
Yes, we're raising money for military families, and we were ready to do the obstacle course. It
This was
rainy.
moments before, yeah.
Yes, so we were all geared up, ready to go.
We were both nervous for that obstacle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, because we wanted to win.
It was pouring down rain.
Yes.
Next, rock band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, rock band. Now,
First year
Dawn,
with Dawn.
yeah, Dawn, you were actually there. You look fabulous in this picture. I'm
I
wearing
do.
my Elton John glasses. But what was we have about 10 seconds for your first impression of this wacky event?
Well, it was my first 2 weeks of working there, and I had to get up and sing something not in the key that I sing, so I was terrified but didn't want to show it.
And we had to do a full show at a club in front of thousands
At
of
the
people.
Myth, yeah.
Yeah. And finally, musical. We had to put on a full musical in 3 days. Lex, this was one of your favorites at the Pantages Theater.
I loved this one. It was so much fun. We did a song from Shrek, Freak Flag.
Yeah.
And it was just so much fun to perform and to meet everyone and do our thing.
Which has been your favorite one?
Either musical or rock band.
Yeah.
Even though I know you did like rock band, but it was one of my favorites.
Both my least
Yeah.
favorite ones, yeah. You can learn more about Project Down and Dirty and buy tickets to this year's event at mytalk1071.com. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more from MCAD and back at the studio. Back after this.
That's a Johnny Little tune. Welcome back. Tis the season for pumpkin-flavored everything. I had my first PSL just a couple of weeks ago.
Me too.
Delicious, delicious. And we have a tasty treat to talk about with our next guest right here.
We all know her. The cooking mom. It's Amy Henton.
Hi,
Thank
Amy.
you so much for coming.
see you.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. I love cooking up my recipes because they're super easy breezy. And I'm like you, like the pumpkin spice rolls out in August and I'm so not ready. So I am ready now. Halloween weekend is upon us. This is official. It's official. This is my make ahead pumpkin French toast bacon. It will make your house smell amazing. You can make it ahead, which is
very good.
awesome.
I
So
like
it's
that.
like one of those things. I love recipes that you can make the night before.
Yeah.
Throw it in the oven Sunday morning. You look like a rock star. House smells delicious. Okay, so I'm going to put both of you guys to work.
All right.
Tom, you were going to just chunk up. So you got this.
All right, I'm
Some
terrible with
French
knives,
bread.
Amy.
So
All right.
don't worry. You know, you got this. You just kind of cube it up.
Cube it
Kendall,
up.
I'm going to have you make the streusel topping. I'm all about a streusel topping. Flour, butter, brown sugar, a little bit of cinnamon, a pinch of salt. Okay? Over here, I've got the eggs. I've got 6 eggs, some sugar. This makes a nice big batch. You do it in a 9x13 or a nice big, casserole dish. Pumpkin pie spice, and then you can use that little pastry blender if you have one of those. Otherwise, a couple of forks works great. Then I've got some canned pumpkin, not the pumpkin pie filling, because we already put the spices and the sugar in. You just want the straight up canned pumpkin. Don't cut yourself. How you doing over there?
Be very careful.
A little bit of vanilla.
Okay.
A little extra vanilla never hurt anybody.
A little good squirt.
Yeah.
Love vanilla.
And oh man, this is such an easy one. I love having brunch. They're a great way to entertain. Serve this with some bacon, maybe some, mimosas, some coffee, and call it a day. You're done. And the best thing about brunch is everybody leaves after a certain point in time. You know?
That's true.
Get out. Yes. It's not like I love
Do they help with the dishes? No, they
Probably
don't.
not, but at least you're not up until midnight and you don't have to spend a fortune.
Yummy.
I always say that's a great way to start entertaining is have a brunch. Okay, so
I haven't cut myself.
you got it. You're good. Okay, so in your casserole dish, you're going to take these cubes of bread, throw them down in here. Boom, boom, boom. I am not a chef. I'm just a mom trying to get breakfast and brunch and dinner on the table.
I'm just
you
a
got
TV
it.
person.
You
There
got
we go.
that. Just kind of smush it in there. Okay. All right. Now we're going to take this pumpkin egg custard kind of type thing.
Yep.
Pour it over the top.
Yum.
And at home, what I want you to do at this point is take some foil or plastic wrap.
Is there
and,
nutmeg in there too?
It's got pumpkin pie spice.
Oh, right,
And
okay.
you don't have to buy pumpkin pie spice. You probably have everything to make it. Just heavy on the cinnamon.
But if you have the pumpkin pie spice,
it's all in there.
one.
It's all in there. But like sometimes it's like I don't feel like running to the grocery store. It's just cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, ginger, and sometimes there's some ground cloves. And heavy on the cinnamon.
Okay.
Okay.
Did I
So
smush this enough?
you did great. So this gets covered with foil or plastic wrap.
What is that device called, by the way?
A pastry blender.
Pastry blender.
Yeah.
Smasher washer.
I have one of those. I just never knew what it was
You
called.
can use a couple of forks or knives or even your hands to get in there. So anyway, in the refrigerator this goes. It's really great if you can do it the night before, but if you just, all day long or a few hours, then the foil comes off. And before baking, you throw this streusel topping over the top. Optional, I've got a few pecans just to make it look
Love
pretty.
pecans.
I do too, and they
Kendall?
get toasted. Are you a nut person? Pecan. But it's up to you if you don't want to throw them on, no big deal. And then I bake this covered for about 45 minutes, uncover it, let it get a little brown. You can even do it like the new trend now is do them in little mini ramekins.
like the
so
little things.
everybody gets your own, but here it is hot out of the oven. Oh man. And then syrup is kind of like optional. You don't even have to do it, but a little warm maple syrup never hurt anybody.
Doesn't hurt anybody.
A whipped
Oh,
cream
my
would be
word.
great. You could do powdered sugar. I want to get you one of those pecans.
you.
So tons of great recipes. You can eat
Kendall, you go ahead.
I have a lot of great recipes for fall and really fun last-minute Halloween ideas
Oh,
on
I
my
want this
website.
one.
Here you go.
Tom,
Boom.
I want my
you want,
own.
You want some syrup? A little
Yeah,
syrup?
I
A little,
want some
you just
syrup
load it
in
up,
here.
huh? A little
A
syrup.
little bit will do.
So good.
Perfect, right there.
Yeah.
Hey, I have one quick question
Yes.
for the butter. I squished it a little bit. I learned this yesterday. Do you want it to be all the way squished, or do you want it to still have little like pea-sized amounts of butter so it melts nice?
I kind of just, I like the butter cold, so that's
Okay.
important. Don't leave it out. For this recipe, some recipes you want them room temperature, but I kind of like little pebbles of the butter in there. But it's all going to turn out no matter what. It's a really no-brainer, foolproof recipe. And a lot of people don't know I have a newsletter. It's free, and we all get in a recipe rut. You just go to my website, sign up for it. I send
Which
it out
is?
every week. TheCookingMom.com.
It's easy to remember. TheCookingMom.com.
Happy
Amy,
Halloween.
I'm sorry, I don't like it.
What?
I love it.
You scared me for a minute there, Tom.
That's what we do in our house all the time. Dad, I
Very
don't like
funny.
it. I love it.
Very
loves
funny.
it.
Good
All right.
stuff, really good.
You heard about it. You can get Annie's cookbook too. The Cooking Mom Cooks Up Memories.
On Amazon.
With your lovely daughter. Stay right there. We are coming right back here on The Jason Show after we power down a little more of this goodness.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Minneapolis College of Art and Design. We'll go back to Kendall and Tom in just a few minutes. Now, I'll be live out here all week giving you details behind the scenes dish of this year's charity project, Project Down and Dirty. But I'll be back in the studio on Monday, and I would love to see you. If you would like tickets to our show, just go to the Jason Show Facebook page, click that ticket tab, let us know when you want to come, and it's easy. You're in by 9:15 and you're out by 11:15. Who knows, you could win a mug. I tell you behind the scenes stories that I don't really can share on TV, all of that fun stuff. So come see us next week. Again, hit ticket on our Facebook page. We're going to take a break. We'll be back to wrap up the show right after this.
Welcome back, everybody.
Well, we know Jason has been live going over to Minneapolis College of Art and Design. Yeah.
Hey,
And
Jason.
Let's say hi again to Jason.
Hey guys, before we say goodbye, I want to show you, I think Eric can get a shot, or you can see it behind me, Tom and Kendall. This is a beautiful piece of student art. This is from Leah Erstad. She's a senior student and a fine arts studio major. So we'll be seeing her piece of art behind us as our backdrop all week long here on the show. So just another example of how great the staff is at MCAD. So we'll hear more about this coming up tomorrow. But right now, I'll toss it back to you guys.
Yeah.
Thank
That
you,
is gorgeous.
sir.
Yeah.
That is really neat. All right, speaking of tomorrow on the show, the gadget guy Steve is back with his picks for the best problem-solving gadgets.
And of course, Jason will be back out at MCAD once again, joined by Lori and Julia from My Talk 107.1. And you can see the beautiful artistry that's around there. And of course, that's their mission, to be artists by Friday. So we'll be watching their progress.
I'm just like, Jason as an art. He talked about like writing music. I'm like, he could make some art about an ex.
There you go. That could be his art.
Yeah, I mean,
could be.
Stay tuned, everybody. That could be the moment. We're going to go eat some more.
That's right. That was so good. Have a great day. And remember, Fox 9 News at 11 starts right now.